In today's video, I'll be going over the newest research bureau ship to hit the World of Warships scene, the Renault. Renault is going to be available for 62,000 research bureau points. It's going to be available starting on March 4th. I'll be going over the overall playstyle of the ship, as well as going over its stats, and during that segment, I'll be showing gameplay of the ship, so you guys can have a look and see how the gameplay is. And at the end of the video, I'll be showcasing the build, as well as my overall opinion on the ship, if it's worth it or not worth it. So let's get started. First thing to know about the Renault is its general playstyle. This thing is going to be a specialty torpedo boat, and the reason why for that is because of how its torpedoes work. So let's talk about that. You do get 12 torpedoes in total, and they are all forward-facing torpedoes. Now, these forward-facing torpedoes have an amazing angles on them. They can aim almost all the way to the rear, and essentially just bow in as well. They do amazing with that. Now, these torpedoes do max damage, starting at 19,500 damage, when they're 8 kilometers in. Now, outside of 8 kilometers, the damage starts dwindling off until its max range of 20 kilometers. So these torpedoes have very long range, and they also have a nice top speed of 79 knots as well, which is pretty decent speed for how long range they are. And they also have a 76-second reload, so nice torpedo as well. You also get a torpedo reload booster as well on this thing, so you get 2 of those in total. And they have a cooldown of between them with 210 seconds, so about 3.5 minutes, which is really good as well. So this thing is definitely a specialty torpedo boat. Now, you can see that it having its max damage being within 8 kilometers, you can kind of see where it's kind of coming at, where you can kind of use it to rush people, or you can use it to just be more of a longer range torpedo boat. You can do either or. And I'll be talking about that playstyle later on in general. But yes, these torpedoes are definitely specialty torpedoes. You can play them either long distance, just keep spamming the long distance to hit your targets, or you can do it more close range or use islands to your advantage to rush into somebody and you nuke them and you're able to go dark really fast. But I wouldn't just recommend you just Wing at people just because of how big this ship is. Now, this ship has 32,300 of HP for its maximum HP, which is a lot of HP, but with how big it is, because it is massive, it's very easy to hit. Now, you do have a nice concealment of 6.3 kilometers, but that's not going to stop other torpedo boats like the Shima or the Gearing or ships like the Lucian or Daring, ships that have good concealment to kind of push you out of areas. So you do have to be careful when you're moving around in this ship, because if you're not careful, you're going to get spotted and you're going to take a lot of unnecessary damage because you do not have a heal. Even though you do not have a heal, you do have the French saturation, which will help save you in some situations, but not all of it. Moving on from the HP and the concealment, let's talk about the other features on this ship. It's guns. It does get German guns. It does get 6 of them in total, with 1 turret in the front and 2 turrets at the rear. One of the rear turrets are 360, while the other one is not, and the guns are 105mm guns, and they are German due to their pen. They do get 26mm per pen, which is pretty nice, and the HE damage is 1200 and the AP is 2300. Now, the guns, they're pretty low damage. You're not doing a lot of damage on them at all, and they're not the most accurate. So your main defense are your torpedoes. You do have a 3.3 second reload on the guns, which is pretty nice. And you also have a 12.4 kilometer range. But overall, you're not relying on these guns to they're not there to kill people. They're there to keep you alive, to help you be able to escape or kill off really low health targets. So say you torpedo somebody and they're down to like 5k, then yeah, you can kill them, right? But a full health gunboat fight, no, you're not going to kill them and you're going to be suffering. So do not try that on this thing at all. Moving on from the guns, let's talk about the depth charges. This thing actually has a lot of depth charges. You get 2 charges with the 40-second reload, and they do 3,400 damage per charge. And you get 24 depth charges per charge. You heard that right, 24. I think this ship has the highest number of depth charges in the game on a ship. If someone can let me know in the comments if that's true or not, but I think this ship does have the highest in the game. 24 is absolutely insane. It means that if you're trying to hunt down a submarine, you can just keep that depth charge button going forever, and you're going to hit them at some point. And you'd be like, okay, well, is this thing fast enough to run down submarines? Well, it is, because it's French. It does have a top speed of 43.1 knots, and it has a 770 meter turning radius with a 4.3 second rudder shift time. The turning radius, it's going to be that big because of how big it is. Now, the top speed, 43.1 knots, is pretty nice, but you do get that signature French engine boost of 20%, which lasts, of course, for 4 minutes, and it has a cooldown of 79 seconds. Really good engine boost on this thing. Essentially means that when you're going max speed, you're going about 51 to 52 knots. You are going to be a speed demon. So if you want to be a torpedo boat that's as fast as speed itself, you want to have a torp reload booster, you want to be speed, you want to rush around and yellow people, you want to rush around and just perma-spot the enemy team, run down a submarine as it screams for help as you run over it. You can even ram it too just to show dominance. But yes, overall, really good speed on this ship, very maneuverable. Oh yeah, definitely good. Now, of course, we gotta talk about the other thing, the anti-air. It does have anti-air on this thing. It also comes with DFAA, which I would consider worthless. In the anti-air, it's pretty mid. It's not the best. It doesn't really do much. If they're like really close to you, like within 3 kilometers, then yeah, it does okay. But yeah, the anti-air is pretty terrible, so don't expect it to save you, even with the FAA. Just dodge is gonna be your motto with this thing. Just dodge and pray that they're not good at hitting you. So overall, what would I rate this ship? Well, if we're gonna rate it on like a 1 to 10 scale, I think I would rate it about a 6.5 to 7 out of 10. I don't think it's the best torpedo boat. I think it's good, but I don't think it's the best. It's very maneuverable. It's essentially like you want to play the French. You want that French speed, but be able to have that torpedo as well. So if you're a torpedo boat enjoyer, you're really going to enjoy this ship. But if you don't like playing torpedo boats and you like playing gunboats, then I definitely do not recommend this ship for you. This thing is definitely built for, like I was saying earlier, the French destroyer players that want to play a speedy boat as well as having good torpedoes. You're not going to be able to defend yourself too much with the guns. They'll defend yourself enough to be able to get away, but they're not going to save you in all circumstances. You'll be able to hunt down submarines with how many depth charges you have, and it does an amazing job at kind of locking down a flank, at being able to, with how much torpedoes you have. And if you do use islands to your advantage, you are able to rush people with your torps. So say there's one person at the island, right? And you have all of your torpedoes ready. You can use all of your torpedoes on one target, nuke that one, and then you can use your torpedo reload booster and then nuke somebody else and then die. So you can do a 2-for-1 trade and do a massive amount of damage. And one set of torps from the one side, so like using all the sets on one side and then the other, you could essentially kill 4 different ships with this thing just rushing in. And the torpedo angles on this thing are absolutely insane. They are so good that you can almost launch them like right off the rear as well. So you can be pointing them backwards as you're backing off and still launch them. And you can practically launch them going straight at somebody. So it's just fantastic. I think the torpedo angles are awesome. The torpedoes are amazing on how they work. Because if it kept its maximum damage all the time, I think that'd be absurdly broken. But with how they had it, it just makes it a really good torpedo boat. The guns, they're okay enough as they are. Like, I wish they were a little bit better, but I understand on their balancing aspect why they didn't, because if they did, it'd just be too strong. So I can see why they did it that way. Anti-air, almost none of the French have good anti-air. The Marceau's anti-air technically is the best out of the French that I've seen for the destroyers. If I'm wrong, someone could let me know, but that's the best one I've seen. This is definitely better than the Kleberts, that's for sure. And it's definitely better than the Cassards. So if you're trying to mark it on the anti-air scale, I'd put the Marceau at the top and then put the Renault below it. And then I'd put the Cassard and the Klebert at the bottom, because the Klebert practically has no anti-air. It's so bad. But overall, if you are a torpedo boat enjoyer and you want to play the French boats and you're looking for a torpedo boat that's for the French, then I definitely think that the Renault is worth the 62,000 research bureau points 100%. If you're not a torpedo boat enjoyer, then you're not going to enjoy this ship. And I think that best explains this ship overall. You can write in the comments what you guys think of this ship. If you like how the way I explained it, if you didn't, just let me know in the comments. But at this point, let's go into port and let's take a look at the armor as well as the ship build that I'll be recommending to you guys. All right, so this is the Renault import. Here you can take a look at it here. These are the forward-facing torpedoes you can see here, and they are easily knockoutable, by the way. So if you're not careful, they'll be knockoutable very easily. One turret in the front with the two turrets at the rear. Oh, yes. This is the Renault. Looks very nice. Well done by World of Warships and how it looks. Amazing as always. Very well done, art department. But yes, this is the Renault import. The armor, 13 millimeter of armor for the superstructure. For the hull, 19 millimeters for the hull. But yes, let's take a look at the build that I recommend. For the modules, we have main armament in the first slot. Second is going to be the engine boost to make it last longer. This allows you to have it for over about 4 minutes. Of course, you're going to build into torpedo tubes for faster torpedo speed, so that's important for slot 3. For slot 4, it's going to be propulsion, so faster speed. For 5th, it's going to be concealment. 6th is going to be the torpedo tubes modification, so faster reloading torpedoes, which gets it down to about 76 seconds, which is really good. For the commander itself, I do recommend Felipe on this thing. It makes it where if you have 2 million potential, which is possible in this thing, you get faster speed. If you do get capture points, which it's going to be kind of difficult in this thing to do that due to its 6.3 kilometer range. If you do get to do it, then you get extra flooding chance as well as higher fire damage. Sorry, higher fire chance. If you do get a Death Strike, which is not difficult on this thing to do at all, it's very easy to do, then you get faster torpedo reload speed as well as main battery reload time. So all these are possible on this ship, so I'll definitely recommend you put Felipe on here. If you don't have them, that's also okay too. You can use other commanders as well, so there are no worries on that. So let's go over the build. First, skill is going to be preventative maintenance, which helps you keep your main guns and torpedoes so they don't get knocked out. Next one's going to be last stand, so that even if your engines or your rudder gets knocked out, you can still use them. After that, you're going to use survivability expert to get extra HP. This allows you to get your HP to 32,350, which is very important. Your 10-point commander is going to be concealment, so that you're stealthy to keep that 6.3 kilometers. Next is going to be radio location. This is going to be very important for you to be able to try to blind torpedo your enemies. I did that a lot while playing this ship, as well as be able to hunt down submarines. So this is going to be your 14-point build. After that, you can do adrenaline rush or fill the tubes. Personal preference. For me, I would rather just have... I personally want to take fill the tubes first, so I just get that guaranteed reload for my torpedoes, rather than just doing adrenaline rush where I have to take damage to get that reload buff. I'd rather just take this one first. So for your 17-point commander, it's going to be fill the tubes. 20-point is going to be adrenaline rush, and then finally for your 21-point is going to be consumable specialist. So that's the build that I recommend for the Renault. So if you guys have any questions or concerns, make sure to write them in the comments down below. Let me know if you guys like this kind of review, and thank y'all for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces!